What's the haps? I'm John, aka Meroka, and welcome to Spiel. We are in Sapphire Skull this week, which is fiery stuffs, starting with Candlestick Keep amongst things, which is fun and not at all deadly. Someone did suggest, I've changed my control scheme actually, on someone's suggestion. Someone suggested I put shield, because I've been having so much trouble with it on this new keyboard, that I put it on left mouse, which seemed really weird to me, and then I realised, you know what, I've got no idea what I use left mouse for. That's actually probably a really good idea. So I'm going to start using that, and that's probably actually going to work out a lot better for me. Because normally left mouse in the game, certainly what I had it's bound to, from some ancient default. Whether it's used for that anymore, I don't know, but it used to be, at some stage, it used to be walk forward. It may still be, but it definitely used to be as well. So, I don't know. So now, ouch. It's going to take a little getting used to, I guess, but yeah, I've now got shield on my mouse, which seems like a useful place to have shield. Because at first I was like, yes, that's going to interfere with interface things and stuff, isn't it? I'm going to be shielding when I want to interact with things, but no, you right-click to interact with most of the stuff in the game, and you right-click to attack. So to be fair, you really don't use left-click for much at all. I know I've used it for walking around when I'm feeling like particularly lazy, because obviously that's, you know, one of its uses. You know, if you left-click, you will walk in the direction of where you're clicking. But let's be honest, most of the time when I'm actually playing the game with any kind of seriousness, I'm going to be using WASD. Like I say, it's more sort of a lazy kind of thing. It's more, I can't be bothered actually using a keyboard today. I'm going to just wander around this bit for a little bit, just using my mouse. So I've changed things up just a bit. It'll probably work better for me. A little bit. Maybe not a lot. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, let's do Spiral Knights news. Yeah. Anniversary's over. That's kind of about it. Obviously, this is Wednesday. If anything's going to happen, it will be today, I suppose. But yeah, the anniversary stuff is gone. It's finished. It is depleted. It has vanished. I totally failed to make the effort to go get the stuffs. I don't know where I'm heading. Where am I heading? Down, I suppose. It's getting to that time of year when things are really sunny, and it gives me monitor contrast problems, which means I can't see when it's dark levels like this. I can't see a whole heck of a lot. I got all curtains and everything shut to try and allow me to see what the hell I'm doing, but it's not good. So yes, nothing happening. Not a lot. I did fail to get any of the prize boxes, which means I did fail to get any grand toppers like I was kind of hoping I might do. Whoopsie. That was a good shot. Well played, sir. Never mind, let's head up here. There's light up here. And yeah, I checked the auction house. They're not too badly priced, to be fair, so I might just snag something off the auction house. It's very even the prismatic ones aren't terribly priced. They're still like 50 to 100k. That's okay for prismatic accessories. That's pretty good, actually, for prismatic accessories. I guess the drop rate of them from the boxes must have been relatively high compared to a lot of stuff, so I guess that works out okay for everyone. I don't know what I would put it on. I just kind of want one. I suppose I could. The only hat I wear with any kind of regularity that I could put it on is literally this one, so it might have to be this one. Can you guys all just go away for a second, because I need to light things up. Oh god. Whoosh. Have light. You. Stop shooting things at me. There we go. Oh god. This is a deadly room. A very deadly room. Alrighty, so if you're watching this presumably means my computer is still alive long enough for me to record, because I will say I have also been having computer troubles over the last day. I mean, I've been having computer troubles for the last 3 or 4 months, to be fair. I formatted my computer a few months back and reinstalled Windows and all that, and it kind of seemed to come back to life to a certain degree. However, it's still been iffy. Last week or two, a lot of games have been crashing for like no reason. City Skylines I've had trouble with. Even Final Fantasy I was having trouble with yesterday. Playing both of those games whilst trying to watch YouTube yesterday, it just seemed to... My computer was freezing up and blue screening and stuff, and it's like, this is not good. Something is wrong here. And my hard drive in the last day or two has started making scratchy noises. I'm pretty sure the hard drive's on the way out. So I apologize if my PC dies within the next 48 hours or so, and I can't do much with that, because Well, that's going to interrupt a content production schedule. I can say that much for you. So sorry if that happens. I have found I had enough money in my PayPal account from selling glasses over the Christmas period and things. You can go check out that store in the link below because they're still for sale and you can still buy them. They're still kind of cool. I had enough money from like selling crazy amounts of Christmas gifts to people at Christmas that I could afford to buy a new hard drive. So that kind of worked out okay for me. It was like, okay, if there was a use for spending emergency money in the PayPal account, I think my hard drive about to die probably justifies it. So yeah, I got a new one ordered. It's on its way. I hope this one lives long enough to allow me to firstly make content and secondly to keep my computer running until the other one arrives. If it doesn't, I apologize for everything. There's not much I can do other than hope and pray at this point though, so yeah. So fingers crossed on that score. There was something else, I have something else. What am I going to talk about? Oh, stuff that's on the channel. Indie Insight. I'm probably going to stop doing Indie Insight because nobody watches it. I've been doing that consistently for a smidge over 3 months now. I was like, 3 months was originally how long I said I was going to do that for. I was like, I'll do this for 3 months as a trial thing and see if people engage with it. And the fact is, people don't. Nobody cares. There's not a series anybody gives a damn about. So it's gonna go. The fact is, it consistently gets less than half the views of any other video I make. So there's no sense in my dragging it out. I think the problem with it is it's too variable. I mean, some of the stuff that I think looks cool turns out to be awful, and I don't know. There's quite a lot of games I've just kind of turned around and gone, you know what? No, I don't want to finish doing 15 minutes of this because it's not entertaining enough to justify 15 minutes. It's not even particularly entertaining in a lot of cases. There's any number of them I've started recording and cancelled as well because it's just like, no, I can't make a video out of this. This is too bad. So there have been some really good games. I found some great games out of doing that series, but honestly, it's just far too hit and miss for me. And indeed, it would appear for you as well. For the average consumer to be bothered with trying to follow along and see if anything's any good. I think most people generally, when it comes to looking at video games, probably... Oh, I don't have a gun on me! No! No. Oh, this is not good. Could really use having a gun here. I think the average people kind of want stuff that is... I think, generally speaking, it's a bad way to look at things, but on Steam is what people want. If it's not on Steam, if I'm just looking at random things on other parts of the internet, nobody actually cares. People want Steam games. People are fickle like that. But other much bigger critics than I can quite comfortably confirm that. If you can't actively buy it... Damn it, I really should have taken pills like a long time ago. If you can't actively buy it now, people don't care about it, so... might have to... That series is I'm gonna have to lose that series. It's not worth my while continuing. Sorry if anybody enjoyed that. I will try and find something to replace it. I don't know what at the minute. I'm probably just gonna start trying to do more collaborative content with other people, I guess. Because it's something I've been saying I need to do for a long time, and it's something I've been neglecting doing for a long time, and it's something that's fun to do. So I should really actually, do that. I don't know why I'm so big on killing these howitzers, because the exit is there. And there's like, ow! Always, it wandered off, and then when I decided to go and take the time to attack an enemy, Grimalkin in the face, ouch, no. Go away, all the things, go away. I'm out. See you later. Whew, okay, heading down. Let us do some questions. You guys really need to send me more questions. You have been remiss in the questioning. Gives me very little to talk about. I got a bunch of stuff. We're straying dangerously close to the territory where I'm going to have to talk about Spiral Knights, and I don't want to have to do that because that would bore me to death. Because I've done that for so long. So please, for the love of God, leave some topics and questions and things in the comments below. If you've never commented before, I'm talking to you. If you have never commented before on one of my videos, ever, think, rack your brains, come up with something that will be really interesting to talk about, something that would be really interested to hear, and ask me something about it. Oh god, there are people in my group. What the heck? Oh, that's not good. How do people get in my group? What the heck? I think I did some group stuff for the anniversary thing and I forgot to turn that off. Let's go solo. That's been a very long time since that's accidentally happened. That's happened a few times in the past, but not in recent history. What the heck? Ooh, yeah, don't want to do that. Right, now, do I take... I should probably take a pill. Let's do that. Rather than just rushing in and hoping to get my health back from the zombies. I mean, I might be able to get my health back from the zombies. I mean, I can certainly do that to try and get my health back from the zombies. And that might work a little bit. Yeah, it will. A little bit. But not a lot. So let's do the questions I do have. I've got Alivai asks, what is the oldest question that you have left unanswered? Now, probably one of Skyside's, because in the past Skyside has left me big lists of questions. And some of them were stupid and I wasn't going to bother with because they were stupid. They were just literally silly joke questions. And some of them were stuff that I was like, you know what, I don't feel qualified to talk about that, or I don't feel comfortable talking about that, so I've kind of ignored them on those grounds. I will say, if anybody asks me anything, generally any kind of political, I will kind of tend to stray away from that. I'm not big on talking about religious topics either, so those kind of... I have done religion, but I'm not comfortable with it really, and anything political, I don't know enough about world news and politics to really talk in any depth on them, so I kind of tend to avoid those. One of probably the oldest that I have from Skyside is much of what we know incorrect because of revisions and edits made by rulers and scholars. I'm not well versed on history. However, I guess this is sort of referring to the idea that history is written by the winners. Is that old expression? I don't know if I may have gone the wrong way. I think there was stuff down the other way. This goes too far. The other one must have had loot. It's always hard to tell with these things, but come on, get down here and let me hit you. There we go. So yeah, it's based on that kind of idea, and I imagine a lot of what we know is coloured by the fact that it will have been written by the winners. Yeah, there was loot. See, called it. It might not be good loot, but there is loot. So that's definitely an issue, but I think surely the job of the historians and such, yeah, this was useful, I'm so glad I came here. The job of historians is surely to try and, figure out the truth, to sift through the information offered to us, left over from the winners, the things that have been painted in a incorrect light because of the winners, and they need to go through archaeological evidence and whatever other evidence they can find and try and divine the truth from the lies. That's surely the job of a historian in my book, or an archaeologist, or any of those working that kind of field, that sort of thing. So I imagine there is an element, certainly. Not everything that we know is going to be 100% factually accurate. We're still working on it. Much like science, we do not know everything, but we're going to try and figure it out, one way or another. I think that's kind of probably where we're at with that. There's a lot of idea that sort of like maybe government cover-ups and things, but I think that's probably getting into unnecessary territory. We assume that most historians are probably working in good faith to try and divine the history of mankind and the world and what's gone down in the past, So that's... I don't know why I stayed away from that question. That was kind of a question that... I don't know, it was history and I was like, I'm not... I don't think I just felt comfortable talking about it because it was like, oh, it's history and I don't know a lot about history. I studied classical civilizations back at school. That was a very long time ago, and it was not my strongest subject. It's a subject I find mildly interesting, but not something I'm, going to invest any major portion of my life to. It was mostly the mythology of ancient civilizations that kind of fascinated me more so than anything else. I was big into mythology in my teens and stuff like that. I had a bunch of books on old Greek and Roman myths and legends, and actually I had a book on all sorts of myths and legends. It covered like many of the ancient civilizations. It was a really interesting book, actually. It was a really interesting subject, so I quite like that kind of thing. So it's always a fascinating read. I mean, if you look at a lot of my characters in games... well, maybe not so much recently, but in the past I've often named a lot of my characters after, like, mythological weapons and things. I'm trying to think if I've got any characters that I still play on anything at the minute that I still do. And I'm failing to bring any to mind. I know my main character for the longest time in World of Warcraft was named after a mythological spear. I spelt it wrong as well, I know for a fact. Oh, I'll tell you what, most of the weapons I use in Minecraft, whenever I do Minecraft videos, most of those are named after things. The recent stuff we did on the Strangelands server, I shot a lot of people with a named bow, and I can't help but think at least some people must have been like, why is his bow named that? This is a mythological bow of one of the Norse gods. The Norse gods had a bow named Ichaival, and I named my bow after it because it is the best bow in the game. So why not name it after the bow of a Norse god? That kind of works for me. So yeah, I do like to weave mythology and mythological names into things. As, to be fair, so do a lot of game devs. I think it's a fairly common theme within game development, is just borrowing names and ideas and concepts from history. You look at a lot of JRPG type stuff, a lot of the weapons in that are just mythological weapons from history. Certainly your Golden Sun definitely had a lot of that going on. I think much of the Tales series had that kind of thing going on. There are a lot of names from mythology in there. I don't know how I've strayed off into this topic, but whatever. Yes, but I can't say so much for Final Fantasy because I'm not super up on recurring elements of the Final Fantasy series. I know Final Fantasy Tactics definitely had a few things in there. It had Excalibur, which is obviously a mythological sword, fairly a common popular one. It's not nothing exotic or fancy, but I think there were a few other swords in there in Final Fantasy that used that as well. I don't know whether they use them in other games. It would totally not surprise me if they did use them in other games, because it tends to be how JRPGs tend to work. They use recurring themes and ideas and names and stuff. As I say, with the Golden Sun, I'm pretty sure I think they used the same name for a few swords in each of the games. That's cool. I like finding that out, because when you see a name, it's like, oh, what is that? And you can just go type it into Google and find it on Wikipedia, and you're like, oh, it's one of these. I mean, quite a lot of them were just sort of swords forged by legendary Japanese swordsmiths and things. That's actually quite a large portion of them, I think, but hey. And to be fair, my warrior in World of Warcraft was named after it was a legendary Japanese spear, the Tombokiri, the dragonfly cutter, that translates as, named after the story where a dragonfly landed on the blade of the spear and was cut immediately in two, which is kind of cool. Can I heat up my charged Quicksilver mail yet? I don't think I can. Nearly. Those boards at the end are sometimes a little bit deceptive. Not in this instance, no. Sometimes gives you a little bit more than you think you're going to get. Where are we here? Out of interest, gate map. What am I fighting? I am fighting Chittering Burrows. Oh, that is undead, isn't it? So I'm probably wearing the right gear. A gun might have been a better call, actually, come to think of it. I should have brought Wildfire. That would have been a better option. Too late now. I'm going to have to fight off all these scarabs with merely a voltage, although actually it's pretty nice. Ow, 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 ow. Now I'm on fire. Ow, now I'm more on fire. Oh god, everything burns. Why? All is pain. All is pain. Jeez. Goddamn scarabs. I'll tell you what, I could probably stand to grab a remedy pill. That's probably going to come in handy with all the fire going around. Especially as I don't think I've got much fire resistance on this gear. I mean, I'm trying to level up that charged Quicksilver mail, which is, you know, no good for nothing right now. It's mostly just being heated up. So yeah. So there's something about history and revisions and edits and things by scholars, which was not what I talked about. I talked about just kind of things in history that interest me. Which is, I think video games are mostly my interest in history. Anything from video. That's probably how I got into classical civilization in the first place at school. I was like, oh, here's an option to learn about the stories and myths and legends and things behind, written by the civilizations behind the stories that's going to make up the bits of the video game. So that was always cool when sort of names recur. It's like, oh, I know that from Golden Sun. Oh, I know that from Tales of Symphonia. Oh, I know that from whatever else I'd been playing at the time. There are a lot of games that use that kind of thing. Pretty sure Baten Kaitos probably did that as well. I don't know why I never played much Final Fantasy. I played like all the GameCube RPGs, but I don't think I ever played much Final Fantasy in my time. It's a weird one, but I should remedy that one day. I want to remedy that when I played a bit of Final Fantasy IX, and I would really like them to bring out Final Fantasy IX on PC. I'm pretty sure they're working on it. They've done 7 and 8 recently, and then probably most of the others as well previous to that. So I'm presuming 9's up next. 9 must be the next option for bringing Final Fantasy to PC. So I'm kind of waiting on that. If they do that, I will buy that. I will buy Final Fantasy 9. I don't know whether... Would there be any interest in watching a playthrough of that? That's well, we kind of a long game, I suppose. I don't know if there would be much interest in that. No, probably not. However, let me know. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Tell me, would you want to see me play Final Fantasy? I think the answer is probably no, because I have not established any kind of reputation of playing through lengthy JRPGs, and my rate of playing through games is abysmal anyway. I tend to be quite slow about things. So if I would start playing Final Fantasy IX, I think trying to cover it on YouTube, it would take me like a year, probably. It still amuses me people are doing like Far Cry 4 and they're still doing it like 6 months after launch. How long's that been out? It must be getting close to that now. They're still going, still working their way through the story. YouTube is not a format for people who want to get through a game quickly unless you're committed to like dumping a video out every day or 2 videos out every day. It doesn't work well for long things, I don't think. That's why I don't tend to do long stuff. I just wouldn't have the patience for it, and I'm pretty sure anybody who was watching would get bored of it and just play through the game themselves just to get through it a bit quicker than waiting 6 months to see anything. I don't know. Tastes vary. I mean, I'm still, like I say, I'm still watching some of that Far Cry stuff, so maybe that's not the case, but hey-ho. Ow, I'm going to get scarabed to death here. I should probably take that last pill. Go on. Heals. I should have brought a Polaris or a Wildfire. Wildfire would have been a bad call in the fiery place. I should have brought Polaris. I really should have. That would have been the thing. Right. Questions. Jameson Thompson asks, if you had a week to travel anywhere, where would you go and what would you do? What, just a holiday? I've got a week to take a holiday. You know I'm unemployed, right? I've got all as much time as I want to take holidays. It's kind of not a big deal. Well, once per year I would take a week to go to Boston, Massachusetts and go to PAX East. That's the thing I would do. I presume you're looking for something a bit more interesting than that. I guess it's more kind of, oh, if you had the freedom to travel anywhere in the world and do anything, unlimited budget kind of holiday, and I don't know. Am I limited by real-world travel constraints? So I feel like if you were to start trying to do a round-the-world trip and see as much as you could, a lot of that's going to be spent in the air, surely. There's going to be a lot of time on planes. So if you're gonna say, oh, I want to see as much and as many and as interesting things as I can in 1 week, you probably want to be looking at something roughly in the same area. To be fair, the Americas is always kind of something I wouldn't mind seeing some more of. There's some very interesting places in the USA, and particularly in South America, kind of South and Central America, your sort of Mayan sort of ruins and things. Those are places I would really like to see at some point in my life. Those were always fascinating. A place like Chichen Itza, I would not mind seeing those at some point. So yes, I could have a week traveling around the interesting places of South and Central America. That would suit me quite nicely. There are a lot of very interesting and fascinating places in this world that, to be honest, I wouldn't mind going and seeing, but monetary constraints and all that. I should take a gap year. Can you take a gap year at 27? Or is that too late for a gap year? I've taken many years of doing stuff that is not really terribly useful to society, so I should probably not take a gap year. That probably wouldn't work very well. Is that a thing in any other culture, actually? Now that I think about it, I've never heard anyone in America refer to a gap year. A gap year seems to be very much a British idea, which sort of... After you finish the equivalent of high school, taking a year before you go to college or university or whatever you call it, depending on cultures and things, taking a year to go and see the world and do things, and I think the idea is usually that you would do something useful like volunteer to help out in third world countries and you would become culturally enriched and things, but I get the impression a lot of people just use it as an excuse for a glorified holiday. So it's not necessarily always the culturally benevolent thing that it's kind of made out to be. The idea behind it is that it is a useful and enriching experience, but the way it's often portrayed is just rich kids having a holiday. It does seem to be the domain of the slightly more well-off. Everybody else is like, yeah, I can't afford to travel around the world for a year. I'm going to go to university so I can get a degree and actually earn some money and make my way in life, or at least attempt to. Not that a degree is worth a whole heck of a lot these days, but, you know, you can always try. You can always try. Depends on the degree, I suppose. Mine is worthless. I will say that much. So, yeah, there's a lot of interesting places. I would say, yeah, your South and Central Americas would be a place I would primarily like to travel. Again, there's a lot of places in sort of North America as well. I'd be kind of intrigued to see. I don't know, there's something I've got on... I've got bookmarked on my web browser, because I'm like, one day I want to do it. One day I would like to see this. There is a hiking trail, the John Muir Trail, which, look it up. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's supposed to be like a... Is it 2 or 3 week long trail? It's supposed to be pretty heavy going, to be fair. But it looks magnificent and a wonderful experience. The John Muir Trail, M-U-I-R, John Muir. I don't know who John Muir is, but it is his trail, and it does look like quite the experience. I would not mind going and doing that at some point in my life, but it's generally supposed to be, like I say, pretty hard going. It's usually snow-covered through most of the year. You've got, like, July through to September is, like, your only noteworthy opportunity to actually try and get and do it whilst there's no snow. Okay, I might die here. I still have my emergency revive, actually, so I'm probably okay. Come on, remove the spikes, remove the spikes. So that's definitely something I wouldn't mind doing, but that is more than a week. That trail alone is, like I say, 2 to 3 weeks long. Out. Out. Just out. And I know there's like a house sort of halfway along the trail that if you get in touch with the people who live there ahead of time, they will basically give you a supply drop halfway along the trail on day like 7 or 8 as you come past. They're like, okay, you pay them money, you get in touch, you pay them money, and you'll say, all right, well, I'm going to be coming past your neck of the woods on day 8 of the trail or whatever, and they will leave you a supply drop, so you can just sort of take supplies for the first 7 days, and then rely on those people to provide you for the rest of it. It's that kind of affair. But yeah, it's supposed to be pretty strenuous going, and I don't know whether I'd be up to it. I guess you'd need some sort of much hiking experience and training beforehand, before going and doing that kind of thing. I don't know who I would do that with, but if anybody wants to go hiking with me, let me know. I'm not likely to plan that in the near future, by the way. That wasn't a genuine offer, but hey. This is jellies, right? Let's just put on my Jellybane kits. There we go. Quick loadout. Armor. Armor remains. Charged Quicksilver. Cripper's armor. I appear to have lost my costume. Oh, it's ready to heat up. Sweet! Let's do that. Boom. Slowly but surely I will get to having that frickin' movement speed increase. One day I will do that. I should really just do like a Vanaduke. One Vanaduke run would do that. It really would. But not yet. I don't know. Whoops, I clicked off the screen. I hope that didn't freeze the video in any way, shape or form. It looked like it might. Every time I click off the screen it looks like it might freeze the video, and I think it does, so I apologize if that's the case. I preferred if it didn't, but it's not ideal. Yes, those are my travel plans. Tell me about your travel plans in the comments. I'm kind of running out of stuff without going to Spiral Nights here. Oh hell, let's do some Spiral Nights. God damn it, you know you want some, so I will indulge you just once, just once. I will indulge. Spiral Nights questions. Devilish Metal asks, what are your thoughts on the auto gun line? What's a good gun for me to take with it? I was thinking I would get an Argent Peacemaker. The auto gun line is pretty good. Certainly your Blitz Needle, if you can get a Blitz Needle, that's generally considered a fairly essential part of the Knight's arsenal because it's so bloody good against Vanaduke, if nothing else. It deals a crazy amount of damage in a very short space of time with a charge shot, and it's usually worth taking. Especially against a fat ass like Vanaduke. He's got a big booty and a lot of space to hit with all the needles, so you can stab him up pretty good with the Blitz Needle. And it's generally good for sort of spraying into a crowd of fiends and what have you and making a mess of those guys. less good against beasts. I mean, beasts are obviously weak to it, but nonetheless, they're kind of slippery buggers. They'll just sort of dodge around behind you. It might be better off to serve with a sword against beasts, but there you go. What's a good gun to take with it? A sword would be a better gun. It would be better to take with it, I feel, to be quite honest. Unless you're very specifically wanting to go gunner, in which case, more power to you and good luck with that. It's not what many people would recommend. Even in light of the gunner updates, pure gunner is not really a solid option. It's a very slow way to play the game. And god damn it, seriously, would you stop with the spikes? Is that because it was kind of stuck, wasn't it? So it was just kind of doing its ranged attack. No. Just get hit by that, would you? I could just Polaris it, I suppose. Oh god, it healed up. Well, that was what I wanted today. Get back. Get back, you dog. I'm just going to pummel you into a corner here, right? I'm near death. So I just wish to pummel you a bit. Okay, that's not really, I'm just not going to kill him before the heart attack expires. And I'm dead. God damn it. Could see that coming. It's like, I'm going to go into melee range. So he's going to use his melee range attack. No, no, no. Hey, look at all those hearts I can use. Jeez. I should have shielded a lot more there. 2-3 weeks without shielding, I've gotten completely out of the habit of actually using my shield in the slightest. I need a shield, man. I've got a shield. Look at this. I can totally shield. Damn it. Idiot. I am a complete poltroon. Oh well. That's what emergency revives are made for, being a poltroon. I also had pills. I could have pilled up. Very much pilled up. Yeah, what's good guns go with the auto gun? Well, you got piercing, so yeah, a shadow or elemental. The Argent Peacemaker is not a bad elemental one. Likewise, Sentenza is not a bad shadow one. You could also go for the obsidian one if you wanted that. Those are very solid options. Common and popular options. I've not actually made it and had a chance to test it out. I imagine if it works very similar to the auto gun, to the blitz. Well, I suppose you're already talking about the auto gun. I guess if you're looking at like the Grim Repeater, I haven't tested it out. I imagine it's pretty much Blitz Needle with shadow damage. I don't have it or have used it, and I don't think I've ever even seen anyone use it anyway. But that's hardly surprising since I don't play with people terribly often. But yeah, I've never actually seen. I don't think I've ever seen that one in action. I presume it's just Blitz Needle with shadow damage, which could be very nice in a lot of scenarios. I imagine that would make a heck of a mess of jellies, to be quite honest. Imagine if you were to unload that one just to the side of the Jelly King. That would do some damage. That would do quite a lot. It would be quite nice. Any crowded room full of jellies or lichen colonies or whatever, you could just go and wipe them all out. It'd be cool. So if you want to go down that option, then actually I could dig a Grim Repeater Blitz Needle arsenal. That seems like that could work potentially. There'd be a lot of standing around and charging up shots, to be fair. So I don't know whether that would be... I don't know whether it would be a quick option for getting through stuff, but I feel like it would be an effective one. You could just stand at range and deal out large volumes of damage. The Polaris line also a good option, especially if you're going down the shadow route. You've got the Permafroster. That's a shadow damage and freezes them in place, and then enemies that are frozen in place you could then hit with a Blitz Needle if you wanted as well. So you got some crowd control synergy with your slow charge up gun as well. So I don't know, that could work. Permafrost them in place. If they're weak to shadow, just use your Permafroster. If they're not weak to shadow, then freeze them in place with the Permafroster and then mince them up with the Blitz Needle. Seems like a solid strategy. I don't know. I'm not really the best at weapons. I just have, like... it's one of the things everyone complains about. It's like, why do you only use, like, 3 weapons? It's like, because my 3 weapons are good. What can I say? I got Acheron, I got Voltage, and I got Polaris Thornblade, and I don't need much else. I will occasionally take my Polaris stroke Wildfire if I feel the situation warrants it. I will occasionally take my Blitz Needle if I feel the situation warrants it. That's kind of about it. That's all you need. That's all you need, kids. Those weapons are just the holy trinity of swords. Some people like their slow swords. I like my medium to fast swords. And it works well for me. What works well for me may vary for you. That's kind of the whole point of having a very large and varied arsenal in this game, is so that you may mix and match and see what works for you, what works best, what you enjoy, what you want to play with. And yeah, Test things out. Make things. That's... I realize obviously you've got limited resources, but yeah, Three Wings kind of want you to experiment and find out and test things out and make interesting combinations, because that's how they make money. The more weapons you make, chances are the more you're going to be spending on the game, and that's how they manage to keep the game alive. So just make weapons. Making weapons is what keeps the game going. There you go. There's some advice for you, just a spot of advice. This has been kind of a long episode, which means it's going to be a very long upload for me. But hey ho, that's my problem, not yours. I shall deal with it. So we'll head down to the terminal, see what Basil has for sale, and then head home and see about buying myself a top hat to make myself feel good about life, generally. I don't know. I don't know what I would do with a top hat. I just kind of want a top hat. Basil, traveling merchant. What have you? Do you have any top hats? Please tell me you have a top hat. You have a... Hey, it's a Phantomos. That would sell on the auction house, I think. I reckon I can make some money out of that. Yoink. One Phantomos for me. There we go. So thank you very much for watching. As I say, don't forget to... If you have never commented before on one of my videos, please comment below. I am talking to you specifically. I want you to come out of the woodwork and provide me with lots of interesting topics for next week. And if you commented before, also do the same. I mean, I appreciate the fact that most of you probably have left me interesting topics before, and that's cool. And you're still invited to continue doing so, but I want to hear from new people. New people, come, give me some stuffs. But there you go. Thank you very much for watching. I have been Meroka. This has been Spiral Nights. This has been Spiral Spiel. And I will see you next time.